Hello, my gorgeous honeys. Welcome back to another episode of Break Free from the BS, the podcast that promises to leave you challenged, changed, or at the very least entertained. I'm so happy that you are here. Today, we are going to be talking all about fear versus faith. This is something that I've mentioned in a previous episode, and it was one of those that I was like, I could do a whole episode on that. And I thought I'd come back to this one because this is something that has really changed the game for me personally. As someone that definitely had major anxiety problems, I am very pleased to say that I now, for the most part, have a pretty solid relationship with anxious thoughts. That's not to say I don't get them. And my very first episode that I did for you guys is where I spoke about the tool lead that I now use to manage them when they do arise, but they definitely arise a hell of a lot less than they used to. Something in the last probably about 6 months that I've started using is this faith versus fear mindset. So let's get into it. Whenever you are having an anxious trail of thoughts, when your brain is like hyperbolic in something that sits in the future, because that's pretty much always what it is, it's either a future thought or it's, you go to a social situation, you leave, you then start fretting about how you were perceived at that social situation, which feels like you're thinking about the past, but you're actually still thinking about the future, because what you're actually having anxious thoughts about and what you're worried about is judgment, is that you're going to get some sort of feedback, you're going to be outcasted in that friend group. Like, that's where your brain goes when it's in anxiety. So although it feels like you're thinking about something that's just happened, you're still actually just worried about the future consequences of what's just happened, right? So if it is that you're always running away with thoughts about future and they tend to take we'll use the term negative because that's the easiest way of like summarizing it, but they go in a direction that you're not necessarily enjoying and that's not fruitful, and if it happened would probably be a bit of a shit time, right? So that's what your brain is doing at the moment. You are effectively believing in the unknown in a negative way, or in a way that negatively impacts you. What I challenge you to start to do, and the reason I say start to do and not just do, is because, as I've just said, even I still have anxious thoughts. But the more that I try and come at these thoughts with this mindset, every time I do catch one, it makes a difference, right? It compounds to the general way in which you're moving through your world and through life. So I just want you to start to notice the thoughts and then go, okay, so this is the fear-based for that situation. What would be the faith-based? And when I say faith, I mean what's the best thing that could happen? So let's say, let me use an example that might be quite common. We'll stay on social situations because I know that's quite a common one. I have a lot of people say to me now about the sort of social anxiety side of things. So let's say you are going to a new life drawing class. Or you are going to like a social event, a local event that's been organised, a charity night. It could be any event basically, or thing that you're going to. Let's say you're going solo. And some people already would be like, no, fuck this, I'm out. But let's just say you're going to this thing solo, right? So you don't know that you're going to know anyone there. So your brain starts to now catastrophize the worst thing that could happen. Oh my God, what if I go and nobody speaks to me? That's going to be so embarrassing. And I'm just going to like feel so awkward all night. Oh, it's just going to be a really terrible time. What if I say stupid things? Or people think, like, our brain literally goes like, what is the worst thing that could happen at this event that we're going to? And I spoke a lot in that first episode about why that is. But just to recap a little bit, that's basically our amygdala kicking in, and it doesn't know that we're not about to fight a bear. It's protecting us either way because it senses discomfort. Right. And that's all that's sort of looking for, is this discomfort flag. So what I'm asking you to do is kind of flip the switch over to faith and go, what's the best thing that could happen if I went to this charity event, went to this event, went to this painting class? What's the best thing that could happen? I could meet some really awesome, inspiring people. I've been looking to expand my friend circle. I've been looking to go into that line of work. I might meet people that in fact, not might, I will. I will meet people. Let's be really direct with our language, because we're doing it on the other side. So we may as well really lean on this side, right? So I will meet people that will change the trajectory of my life if I go to this event tonight. Imagine the energy that you would be walking into that room with if you truly believe that you are going to meet someone on that night that is going to change the trajectory of your life in some way. You are going to be working that room like a boss, hunting for that person. You're going to be so open to it. So already you're walking into that room with a completely different vibration and energy to what you would be walking in that room if you were like, I'm going to say something stupid, people are going to judge me. You're going to go in and want to absolutely fucking hide and swallow the ground. So you're far more likely to create the very situation that you are afraid of. So let's flip to faith, right? So we've already said, I'm going to meet someone that's going to change my life forever. My work is going to get recognized. I'm going to make an amazing business contact. I'm going to have the best time. It's really going to recharge my creative battery being around people in this situation. I've always wanted to do life drawing. It's going to completely change my portfolio, my ability to use a new skill creatively. Flip into faith, man. Flip into faith, because you get to choose what that experience is like. And this is what I mean when I say you create your universe, you create the world that you live in. That's what I mean, because we experience the world outwardly. We think that the world is happening to us. We are happening to the world as much as it's happening to us. You could go into the exact same situation as someone else and have an entirely different experience. In fact, you probably have. Think about how many times you've walked out of a film and been like, oh my God, that was so amazing. And someone's like, that's the shittest film I've ever seen. Or you go to a gig and you're like, that gig blew my fucking mind. And they're like, oh, I thought it was average. That's why that happens. We go, oh, it must just be taste. I don't know about you, but I am someone that has a taste for everything. Even if it's not necessarily something that I would choose, I might have a preference, but I still have an ability to find something in most things. There are obviously going to be exceptions to that, I'm sure, if I really thought about it. But off the cuff, like take music for an example. I've got preferences. I've got music that when I put it on, I'm like it fucking tickles my pickle immediately. But if you put on music that I might not necessarily be drawn to, and I might even be like, oh yeah, I wouldn't listen to this personally, but I can usually find something in there that I'm like, but I admire that. You get people collectively hating on the same thing and like calling it taste. I'm like, nah, man, you're just being told what to hate and going with it. You're just being told what to hate and going with it. I truly believe the reason you get people having completely different experiences of the same thing is actually because they experiencing it from within. So if you go to a festival and you're expecting to find it too crowded and overwhelming and the bands are going to be shit live, they're never as good, the food's going to be terrible, I'm going to be really sweaty and it's just going to be awful, but all my friends are going, so I'm going to go. Do you think you're going to have a good time? Do you think you just created the reality you're going to experience? Whereas if you go, yeah, I'm going to go to a festival and I'm going to be messy as fuck. I'm not going to be able to shower properly. I'm going to be sweating. It's going to be so busy, but I cannot wait to just cut shapes with strangers. I can't wait for all the people I'm going to meet. I can't wait to experience the artists in their rawest form live. Can't wait to see what that looks like. You're going to have an entirely different experience, hon. like an entirely different experience. And what we're not saying here is that we're setting like unreasonable expectations on everything. There's every chance that you go to that festival and something mental happens. Like when I went to Leeds, there was such insane storms through the night that like 4 of the stages were closed and we didn't get let into the festival site for like 8 hours because they had to like make sure everything was safe. I was vibing. I was vibing in the waiting area with everybody else, getting some scran, waiting to go in, right? And just accepting it because I didn't anticipate it. So you just deal with it when it arises, but you do it from the vibration that you're already in, which is like up here, right? So even if you come down a bit, you're still going to be pretty good baseline. Whereas if you're already expecting the worst and then the worst happens, that's why it feels so all consuming when shit goes wrong in your life. And we've really romanticized moaning. It's a normal thing to moan about all the things that are not good in your life. And when I say not good, they're not even sometimes bad, but we just love a moan. And you'll also know people that always have a problem. They always have a problem. Every time you see them, there's 5 new problems on the table. And certainly when I'm not at my best, I'm not like looking after myself and I'm not dialed into my thought patterns, I fall back into that thing of like moaning or having problems. And I'm like, 1 minute, I've got it pretty fucking good. So I should really be grateful for what I have. And I'm not trying to minimize actual problems. Okay, there will be times in your life when actual shit happens and you have to deal with that shit. But if you are constantly dialing in your energy to all the little inconveniences, maybe, of life, then when the big shit drops, you don't have the energy or the capacity to be able to deal with that properly because you've been overspending your fucks. You can't give a fuck about the big thing when you've just been dishing out fucks left, right, and centre for all the little things. And often when you look, if you get into that pattern of looking for the problems and the things to moan about, you will find them. You will find more of them. And this is what I mean when I say world is experiencing us because we are going out already either looking for all the amazing reasons to do these things, to be in these places, to have these experiences, versus the opposite, right? And it can be addictive. Having all these problems can be addictive. And whenever you have a behavior that you are doing, like, so let's say moaning is a thing that you do, you're like, fuck, that's me. I've always got a problem. Oh my God, I just like always talk about all the little things that inconvenience me. Think about why you do that and what you get rewarded with. Certainly in my experience, when I'm like at my lowest, when I am just finding all of the negative shit I possibly can in my life, there's usually something that I need. And that could be as simple as you actually just need a bit of attention from your friends, from your family, from your partner. You just need a bit of love and care and attention. So you don't know how to ask for that. You've not learnt the skill to go, I'm feeling a little bit tender and I need some like love and attention, or I want to talk about this idea that I've got. But people aren't fucking mind readers. So if you've got a creative idea and you're like a bit sad because no one's asked you about it, they don't know you've had it. And then what we tend to do is we find things like problems to then be able to have a moan about something and then get a bit of attention. But would you rather have the attention on this problem that you found or on something that you actually care about and that you're actually excited about? And it's all intertwined with this faith versus fear, because it's the same thing. If you're going out into the world in full faith, if you wake up in the morning and you're like, today is going to be one of the best days of my life. I could feel it in my bones. I'm going to meet interesting people today. I'm going to have opportunities come knocking that I just couldn't imagine. And there's going to be so many epic synchronicities happening to keep me aligned on my path, whatever your path is, whatever you're going after. Today is going to rock for that. Versus waking up and being like, another day, can't be asked to do this, can't be asked to do that, blah, 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 blah. you're going into the day fully set up to experience the day that you're thinking you'll have. So choose the right side of the fence, my friend. Choose the right side of the fence. Sometimes the little gremlin's going to win and you're going to lose a day to it and you're going to have one of those fucking days. And if you're a woman, which I think most of you listening are, that's probably going to be luteal. That's going to be luteal phase where it's all just a bit shit and that's all right. But there are still ways of you like looking after yourself in that phase. Talking from extreme experience, I've got PCOS, so that shit is exacerbated. So there's little things you can do to help yourself for sure. I know when I'm not looking after myself, I get away with it in ovulation and then luteal phase hits and I'm like, fucking hell. That's where burnout city happens if I've not been taking care of my pillars during the rest of the month, right? So we can do things to help ourselves for sure. But you're going to have to, even if it's not because of your cycle, there still might just be days where you fall back into being moaning myrtle. All right, that's what I call myself when I'm being. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm being a moaning myrtle. It is what it is. It's going to happen sometimes, but the more you can consciously choose the magic, the faith that this shit's going to rock, choose it, man. Choose that side of the track because truly wonderful shit lives there. Truly, truly wonderful stuff. And I can't even tell you how much my life has changed since I've started to move in that direction. And I've given a bit of context to my life in a couple of the episodes. I should probably do like a full deep dive episode into like who the hell I am. That would probably be quite useful for people that are dialing in each week. But just trust me when I say I'm not preaching from a high tower. This is not some sort of educational thing. This is lived experience. I've not been taught this. I've had to learn it. And I now constantly meet people that have also had to experience learning these exact lessons. And there will be some shit that I can call out here and you can know it consciously, but you've almost still got to go and find out for yourself subconsciously. But that works both ways. I can't take away some experiences that you'd have to go to learn certain things, like really know them. You could like learn them on a knowledge level and like on the conscious plane, but to subconsciously feel something and really know it. Some things you're probably going to have to find out the hard way. What a beautiful experience this life is. But there's certainly going to be other things that you can just choose to update the log in your brain. You can choose to be like, cool, we're choosing faith instead of fear from now on. Doesn't mean you're going to be perfect, as we just discussed, but you're going to get a hell of a lot more of an opportunity to prove the opposite to be true. And that's what it's all about. As I said at the beginning, you're kind of compounding these experiences until your brain literally updates itself. Like, I don't have to try hard now to think on the faith side of things. And shit is going wild in my life. Like, stuff is kicking off. And there's so much change happening at once. I was talking to my hypnotherapist again. This is going to happen a lot in episodes. I was talking to Joe and we were talking about this period that I'm in my life. Like, it is transformation on heat. There's so much change happening in my life, all very exciting / terrifying stuff. And I am being challenged to step up constantly and hold more than I have ever held. And the more that I lean into faith and going, I can't wait to see what opportunities are coming my way, I'm 100% going to fly. There's no way that what I want to do, my purpose on this planet, that I'm going to fail it. I'm going to fly. I know it. I can feel it in my bones. Total faith. I truly believe that I'm going to be okay and that it is all going to work out and it is divine timing and it is going to launch me into the absolute stratosphere and I'm going to help change millions is the word that comes to mind. I'm going to change millions of people's lives because I shared that one video and it brought me thousands of you. Thousands of you came to my door from one video and told me how much it had impacted you and how much it had changed your life. And it's pinned on my Instagram if you want to go and see the video that I'm talking about. Insane. And that was one video, and that lit a fire beneath me because it made me realize that I actually can impact positively on millions of people. What is my life? And 6 years ago, I was just a hollow shell. I was just nowhere near the person that I am today. And little by little, cog by cog, step by step, moment by moment, I am now the woman that I am today. And I am so fucking proud of myself. I am so proud of myself. And a previous me would have thought that was cringe to say, that I'm proud of myself. That is how much I have removed the old conditioning that somehow self-pride is not okay. That to be proud of what you're putting out into the world and the person that you are is like a weird thing to say. But yet we constantly shit on ourselves. Constantly shit on ourselves. Unsubscribe. Control, Alt, delete that belief. Thank you. Goodbye. Not doing it anymore. So I can say with like total love for myself, I know I'm going to fly. My life is just getting better and better and better. When I was where I was 6 years ago, I would have listened to this podcast and I probably would have had the thought like, well, fucking lucky you. I've got this going on. This, and this. Right? That is what I would have done. So if you're thinking that right now, babe, I know, because I was you. I am you. And no, I say this with so much love, so much love. No one is coming to save you other than yourself. No one. There will be people that support you along the path. There will be people that inspire you. I hope I can be that for you. And I'm reaching that hand back. But you have to take the steps. No one can do it for you. And you almost have to reach to a point of uncomfortability to go, I cannot wake up another day and look for all the shit in the world. I cannot wait. I cannot have another conversation with my friends and all I do is moan. I cannot keep assuming that every person I meet wants to fuck me over. I get it. I know why you're there. I know you've probably had some awful experiences that have taught you that self-protection pattern, or that's how you get people's love and attention. But I promise you there is a better way and your life will change beyond measure, and it all comes from you. You can change your life. You can. You can do that. I promise you, you can do that. You don't have to do it all overnight. You can't do it all overnight. It's a journey. The time will pass anyway. But the life that I get to love and experience now was worth every single minute of the time between when I was at my lowest and now. And I'm talking low, guys, like really low. Trigger warning. I'm going to call out trigger warning right now for the next thing I'm going to say. It's going to be based around suicidal ideation and tendencies. Okay? So this is your opportunity to skip out if you can't hear that. I, on a few occasions, almost decided to end it all. That's where I was. Antidepressants from the doctors. Low, man. Really low. Couldn't get out of bed most days. Oh, I'm welling up saying this to you. Because I think it's so easy when you see someone that is living a beautiful life now to assume that it's always been that way and that it's just been handed to them on a silver platter. I fought tooth and nail to have the life that I'm currently experiencing and for the life that I'm going to experience. And I promise you it's worth it. So I beg you, if you are in that space right now, I beg you to hold on, my darling. and take the next step. And if you need to get some support in the meantime, then get support. I've had therapy. I'm now in a really healed place experiencing hypnotherapy, which is just like a whole nother level of amazing. But I'm sure it would have also have helped me. Oh, I've got the sniffles now. Oh, I'm just so passionate about letting people know that there is, I know they say it, the cheesy, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and I didn't believe it. And I don't know how I held on. Honestly, I just thought about my parents. I just thought about my parents getting that call and the people that I loved getting that call. And I just could never go through with it. And thank God I never did, because it would have robbed me of this beautiful life. And I still have days where I get that low. As I say, I have PCOS. Every now and then, probably a handful of times a year, my period will be hardcore and my brain will go, opt out. Maybe it's time to end it all. This is awful. You need to throw your entire life in the bin. Visceral. Like I walk on the beach and I stare at the sea and think, I'll just walk in there and not come up. Like it's that present. But now I go, I know you. I know you, and not in this house. And I hold on and I sit in it and I tell the people I love that I'm experiencing it, and it passes. It passes usually within a day, if not 2 days, and my hormones come back and I'm all right. So I'm not telling you it's always going to be sunshine and roses. I think that's also a thing. People see someone like me that is someone that goes out into the world with love and joy as much as possible. They think that I'm all like love and light and sunshine and roses. Hell fucking no. I feel it all, babe. I feel it all. And what allows me to be so deeply in my joy is that I sit deeply in my pain as well. I sit deeply in both sides of the fence, and it allows me to experience it all, alchemize it all, and have it all move through me. And then I get to intentionally set what I go out into the world looking for as an experience that will lead to an emotion. I opt for the ones that are going to lift me as much as possible. It doesn't mean I don't occasionally have the ones that hurt me, but I just want to remind you of your personal power. Ooh, that ended up being a very deep one. That's the deepest one yet, guys. That fell deep. Get the wellies on because we're going deep. Wow, wow, wow. We're at half an hour, so I'm going to leave it there and let you sit with that. And I feel like I'm going to disclaimer this episode actually a little bit at the end. I say disclaimer, I'm going to add something. If you are currently in that place and you are really on the cusp and you don't trust yourself that you are able to hang on and know that it's going to get better, please, please, please seek support. Go to a doctor if you need to, or if you need to ring and speak with something like the Samaritans. There is no shame in that. I have rung the Samaritans a handful of times in my lifetime. They offer an incredible service that's really important. So if you're there, I hope you're not, but if you are, please get the support. And if like me, you're out of that space and you're on the up, fuck yeah. Hopefully this is a reminder of how powerful you are and how you can keep on trucking in that direction. You know, or if you're just coming out of it, oof, get strapping, babe, because it's going to get amazing. But you got to feel it all. Okay. You don't get to unsubscribe from any of the fields. You got to go for all of them. Whew, okay. I love you. Thank you for being here. And I will see you next Friday. Mwah.